Full warning, this video is going to involve some spoilers for the sacrifice, purely because it'll go into Excalibur Umbra in depth and I will be discussing some of the things that are seen there. If you haven't played the quest yet and don't want to be spoiled, stop watching now. For everyone else, hello, I am Blaze and welcome back to Warframe. Excalibur Umbra is a specialized version of Excalibur that you acquire through the course of the sacrifice quest. You craft him early on but only get access to him during the penultimate mission of the quest line. His crafting requirements and results are completely unique so far. Crafting him doesn't require first building his individual components and then putting them together. You build him directly, with 10,000 credits, 1 Orokin cell, 60 Kuva, 1,200 nanospores and 1,600 alloy plates, which is a shockingly low set of requirements. The results are also unusual. He and both his weapons come at rank 30 by default, and all with some pre-installed mods, pre-installed Orokin Catalyst and a pre-installed Orokin Reactor, meaning that the only work you will need to put into him after getting him, if you want to max him out, are Forma and an Exalted adapter, which is actually pretty damn generous. Excalibur Umbra has identical stats to Excalibur Prime, making him a direct upgrade to the default Excalibur, including the standard 100 base shields and health, a high armor rating of 300, 75 more than the standard Excalibur, 150 base energy and 4 default mod polarities, 1 Madurai polarity, and 3 special Umbra polarities, plus another Madurai polarity for his aura slot. Also like other Excalibur frames, he has his Exalted Blade, referred to as the Exalted Umbra Blade in his iteration. It shares identical stats, but again has a unique polarity setup, with 2 Umbra polarities and a Narrowmon polarity. In all cases, the Umbra polarity is unique, and is beyond the capabilities of Forma. You can overwrite it with a different polarity, but if you do so, there's no getting them back. So I advise against that, especially because the special mods he comes with are quite powerful. These mods are Umbral Vitality, Fiber and Intensify for the Umbra Warframe, and Sacrificial Pressure and Steel for his melee weapons, the Exalted Umbra Blade, and the signature Skiajati Nikana weapon he comes with. These respectively act as replacements for Vitality, Steel Fiber, Intensify, Pressure Point, and True Steel, and much like primed variants cannot be equipped with their base mods at the same time. Though, you would almost certainly never want to. They have endo costs, identical to primed mods, making them an expensive endeavour, but they come along with their own benefits. The Warframe mods add damage resistance to sentient attacks, and the melee mods add a damage multiplier to sentient targets, making Umbra a true specialized anti-sentient Warframe. But that's not all, they also act as set mods, the set bonus being to increase the effect of the mod's primary effects. The Umbra mods may be worth their own entire video unto themselves, so I will just quickly summarize them here. The Warframe Umbral mods give a combined 33% damage resistance to sentient attacks, and increases of 66% power strength, 770% health, and 192.5% armor, which alone makes all of them the best options for Umbra by far, and makes Umbra a pretty unambiguous statistical upgrade over all other Excaliburs. The melee mods give a combined 66% damage bonus against sentience, and an increase of 137.5 base damage and 110% critical hit chance. This does make Sacrificial Pressure arguably weaker than Primed Pressure Point, but Sacrificial Steel is the best critical strike chance boost available to any Exalted weapon due to their inability to equip Acolyte mods like Blood Rush or Maiming Strike. So, like I said before, do not overwrite those Umbra polarities. You will be shooting yourself in the foot if you do. He does have some upgraded abilities over the default Excalibur, but most of them are the same aside from changing their sound effects. These will be Slash Dash, Radial Javelin, and Exalted Blade. If you're familiar with Excalibur, you will already know exactly how these work, and all pre-existing augments are also still compatible with Excalibur Umbra, so I'm just going to skip right to his upgraded ability. Radial Blind is now Radial Howl from Umbra, and has been mostly upgraded compared to Radial Blind. Duration and range are identical, but while Radial Howl has a longer animation, it is also capable of removing damage resistances that sentient units have built up, Shadow Stalker included. Blind Duration is affected by duration mods, Effect Radius is affected by range mods, and Strength mods do nothing without equipping the Radiant Finish mod. It's a minor upgrade, but one that still differentiates him as a Warframe with a unique story, and as a dedicated anti-sentient weapon. Umbra also has 2 passive abilities. One is swordsmanship, shared by other Excalibur Warframes, that gives equipped sword melee weapons 10% attack rate and damage bonuses. This will affect all single and dual sword weapons, nikanas, and rapiers. His second passive is what makes him truly unique right now. While your operator is not assuming direct control and transfers out of Excalibur Umbra, he will actually act and fight on his own. It is actually extremely cool to witness, ties right into his lore, and is a big reason why I gave that spoiler warning at the start of the video. Annoyingly, he will never seem to use Exalted Blade, but he does have access to his other 3 abilities, and all his equipped weapons while acting independently, and will generally act like a Cosmic Spectre. This does come with a downside, sadly. While other Warframes are invincible while they're out of them, Umbra does still take damage. If his health gets depleted, it thankfully won't down him, but you will be pulled out of transference mode and thrown back into Umbra with the transference static debuff as if it was your operator that got shot to pieces, removing his shields and removing 10% of Umbra's maximum health for 45 seconds. This does put a damper on the ability somewhat, since he will get shredded very quickly at sortie levels and beyond, but if you're at lower levels he is quite capable, and you can do some serious nonsense by bringing him and an entire army of spectres into a mission all at once. It also seems that there are some oddities caused by how he moves around, and I have ended up getting stuck outside the map because the game managed to throw me somewhere unintended when I tried to get back inside Umbra. Originally he did also absorb energy from Orokin Death Spheres in the Void tileset just like primed Warframes, but this has been removed. I suppose it must have been unintended. In any case, you can mostly mod Umbra and his Exalted Umbra Blade in the same way as you would mod the default Excalibur, though in this case you get major boosts to your health, armor, and power strength by default thanks to the signature Umbra mods. Rage or Hunter Adrenaline are quite useful if you want to focus on Exalted Blade thanks to their energy restoration, and Chromatic Blade is kind of a shoo-in thanks to his power strength mods also contributing to the bonus status chance from that augment. Building him for maximum range as a crowd control frame is still an option, but be aware that Radial Howl takes twice as long to cast as Radial Blind. So if you need to throw it out at short notice, it might end quite poorly. There's also always something to be said about running a balanced build that doesn't specialize in any one specific ability. If you have access to Primed Vigor, then that will synergize quite well with his already considerable health and armor values, but you can easily replace it with something else if you lack this mod. So far I have left the default Aura mod polarity as it is, but either replacing it with an Aramon polarity to equip something like Energy Siphon or Corrosive Projection, or removing the polarity entirely for added flexibility are also both valid options. Finally, we come to the true endgame, Fashion Frame. He just looks really damn good, and his long flowing scarf, while arguably a bit of an edgy ninja cliche and has its share of clipping issues, does still look extremely good in my opinion. He can equip all Excalibur cosmetics, as well as having his own unique Sunder helmet for those that want to see a mangled face on him permanently. And he always remains differentiated as Excalibur Umbra, with his scarf and chestcloth, much like how primed Warframes tend to keep their primed parts with a number of different skins. Umbra has 2 unique animations as well, Umbra Agile and Umbra Noble, both of which look quite stunning. I especially like the Noble animation's rifle idle. It kinda makes him look like an actual soldier, which, due to Excalibur Umbra's origins, makes a great deal of sense. We just need to be able to see him occasionally walking around the Orbiter or something now. It just doesn't sit right with me that he would essentially be in cold storage like every other Warframe when we're not piloting him. After all, Umbra is unique. While other normal Warframes are mostly just empty shells, in Umbra's case there's an actual person in there with memories, emotions, and a will of their own. I'll leave it to you to decide if the wait for Umbra was worth it, but I remain quite happy with him. As I said in my playthrough of the Sacrifice, I and some other people were throwing around the idea half-jokingly that Umbra would just be a skin. That's not the case at all. If you were expecting essentially a completely new and different Warframe entirely, then you won't find it here, but if you enjoyed playing as Excalibur before, then I don't see anything to dislike here. Thank you for watching my opinions on Excalibur Umbra. All comments are appreciated, and I hope to see you around next time. For other Warframe content, you can consider watching my video on the default Excalibur, or watching my playthrough of the Sacrifice quest that you get Umbra from. Until then, as always, take care.